What is going on, guys? Lildogdog here, and today I'm bringing you episode 2 of my Hardcore Ironman series. In this episode, we make some insane progress. We get a lot of quests done, and my character makes a big step up from noob status. Still a noob, but a big step up. For those of you who are unaware, if you missed episode 1, this series is actually recorded on stream, and then this is essentially a stream highlight series. So if you want to catch the stream live, it's going to be twitch.tv/Lildogdog with an underscore at the end. Link's going to be in the description below. I'd appreciate if you go give me a follow over there. I'm so close to hitting my January goal. So if you're confused as to why you can see my face on stream, but the sound isn't really lining up with what I'm saying, that's why. This is just recorded on stream. So if you want to tag along the stream, it'd be great. It's a lot of fun. So come out. If you don't, just enjoy the highlight videos. So let's get right into episode 2. So like I said at the end of last episode, the first thing we're going to do in this episode is the waterfall quest. So I made my way to Ardoyne as soon as I started the stream. I got everything I needed before I started the stream. So on my way to Ardoyne, I picked up all the lodestones. I got Catherby, Taverley. I grabbed Sears Village, got Ardoyne, and then it was right up to the waterfall to start the quest. I accepted the quest, and obviously, you know what I did next. I got on the raft. I did everything I had to do to start to get through the actual quest. After getting pushed down the waterfall, I had to make my way through the maze. I was a little worried about this because I know there are some giants in the maze. It wound up being fine, but after that, I had to go into the cave with the hobgoblins, and that was a little bit stressful. At this point, I really didn't have many stats. I'm still wearing bronze armor. So getting into this cave with the hobgoblins and then not realizing that I clicked the wrong crate for a second. This is all sped up, but I was stressing out a little bit before I got in here to get the pebble. Once I had the pebble, I just home teleported out. I didn't even have to deal with him again, so it was straight back to the waterfall. I just had to go to the bank, grab some stuff, put my gear away, and then I headed into the what is it called? What would you call it? A tomb? I guess the tomb or the little cave. Here where you got to get Glariel's amulet and the ashes. So I was lucky enough that I had skeletons targeting me here, and the moss giants kind of left me alone. I took quite a bit of damage. I was pretty glad I had food. I had to eat a few times while I was in here. Wasn't too bad. The most stressful part of this quest is the fire giants. So this part was pretty lax. So I went back to the bank, geared up, head back up to the waterfall. And it's time to actually head into the dungeon. So probably the most stressful part of the quest right here is the skeletons and fire giants. You have to run past the skeletons first to get into the fire giants. I was sweating. And I could not remember what chest to use. I didn't want to use a guide. I wound up having to use a guide because I messed up. But I didn't want to. I knew it was one of these crates here. I had to search for the key. And I had to run across the fire giants. Now, I don't know if something changed. Or if I'm just dumb, but I didn't get attacked by the fire giants. I don't know if anything changed. I would hope they didn't change it because that's really the only risky part of this quest. But maybe they did. Maybe the fire giants don't auto aggro. Now, unfortunately, I messed up this part of the quest, so I had to do everything I just did all over again. I didn't have to put the runes back in, thank God, but I had to go back into the tomb and go back through. You can see here I get sucked out of the room. Oh, this was frustrating right here. But I cut all that out to make myself look a little better, and I finally completed the quest. I was so hyped. Look at me. Look at me right there. Look at past me. Hype as hell. So the next thing I did is I wanted to complete the Knight's Sword. I wanted to get my smithing up, especially with the mining and smithing rework. I thought it was time to get all that free smithing XP and then make myself some better armor now that I could actually use it. So the first thing I had to do was get my mining up and then train my smithing up to level 10. You don't need level 10 smithing, you only need level 10 mining for the Knight's Sword, but you need 2 iron bars, and where am I going to get those right now, right? I didn't realize it, so I went and started the quest, but you also need a red berry pie. For some reason, I didn't think about it, so I had to also train my cooking up to level 10. Shouldn't be too hard, I already have level 7 cooking, so I headed to Taverley to catch myself some crayfish. And I figured one inventory would probably be more than enough as long as it didn't burn too many. So I cooked up these crayfish here. Actually got me all the way to level 11 cooking. And it was time to make the red berry pie. I was pretty hyped. Just the early levels are so hyped. Just, you know, there's so much going on when you make a new hardcore Ironman. And it's a little more satisfying when you know it's a hardcore Ironman. So after that, I went to go actually cook the red berry pie, bought everything from the merchant right next to the windmill and lumberage, and then went to the range, now that I completed Cook's Assistant, so I could use it for that extra chance. So I didn't want to burn pies. I made 2 just in case, and I wound up burning 1, so I'm glad I made 2. Next thing I did was make my way to Varrock to pick up the lodestone and mine some iron. Figured on my way there I might as well do part of this monthly minigame, get some free prayer and construction XP. It wound up getting me to 11 prayer and 3 construction in 30 seconds. Why not? Get past these easy early levels. So I made my way to Varrock, picked up the lodestone, and then went right to the left to pick up some iron. I wound up getting, I think, 7 iron. I wasn't sure if it was still, after the rework, if there was a 50% fail chance or if you needed 2. Turns out you just need 2 iron to make 1 bar. No fail chance anymore. Just double the iron. So I wound up getting 7, kind of screwed me because then I got 1 extra iron ore laying around, but it is what it is. I got everything I needed. So for some reason, I went to the artisan workshop to smelt it. Why not? I just been doing so much artisan workshop on my main that I figured why not come here. It's home. I made the iron bars and kept 2 in my inventory for the quest. Then I went to Reldo, now that I had everything I actually needed for the quest, and got on with it. I needed to find out where Thurgo was. I'm not going to bore you with the entirety of this quest. If this stuff doesn't bore you, make sure to check out the screen. But I'm just going to show you the kind of highlights, the kind of risky stuff that happened while I was doing it. So, by far the riskiest part of this quest, especially with this mining and smithing rework, at a low level, is getting the bluerite. I got aggroed by so many ice warriors and so many ice giants while I was trying to get this bluerite. It was insane. Some of it was my fault because I thought I could safe spot him over there. Turns out you can't. But there's really no way to get bluerite without getting aggro. You just have to kind of wait for these guys to go away. Originally, I was going to get 2 bluerite just in case because I didn't know if I needed 1 or 2 off the top of my head. But once I had 1, I was not feeling good and it was time to get the hell out of there. So I managed to get my 1 bluerite and I just took off. Back up to Thurgo. So I got the sword made and I came back to the squire and that was quest complete. This got me to, I believe, 30 smithing. Pretty good. I'm not going to complain about it. All that free experience is exactly why I did the quest. So at this point, I knew I wanted to get my defense up. I wasn't sure what to do next. But I knew that if you did the Holy Grail, you got the Holy Grail of defensive experience. So I bit the bullet. It was time to do Merlin's Crystal. So the first thing I did was make the bread because I didn't want to pay for bread. So I went and I got some flour and some water, mixed it together, and brought it to the lumberage range. Why not? You get that extra boost chance for better bread, right? So I got my bread, and the next place to go was, I believe, Catherby. Once I was in Catherby, I banked some stuff, picked up some more food because I knew I was going to have to fight a high-level bat because I didn't feel like going anywhere else other than the bats right here where the quest is. I picked up my insect repellent, and it was off to kill a bat. Now, I originally aggroed way too many bats, almost died. Don't want to talk about it, but I managed to kite one away from the group that I had already been damaging and get him one-on-one. Once I had him one-on-one, he was screwed. He can't take me one-on-one. It took me a while to actually kill him, though, because I don't have anything good. But once he was dead, and that's the important part. So now that I had his bones, the bread, the insect repellent, and the bucket, I was able to start the quest. Straight to King Arthur. Let's start the quest. Let's get this first one out of the way that doesn't really give anything other than 1,000 experience lamp, and just get to the Holy Grail. So obviously, I stuffed myself in a crate and got myself to Morgan Le Fay's tower. I had to fight her son. This was a surprisingly easier fight than I expected. I remember this fight being a lot harder when I did it before. However, it did bug because I only ever encounter these things when I'm recording. And as soon as I killed her son here, the Black Knight, he just regained all his health and kept attacking me. So I killed him one more time thinking maybe that's what I had to do, or maybe he'll actually just die this time. No, he didn't. I had to go back downstairs and back upstairs, and he disappeared. So I was able to get the dialogue out of the way that I had to do and exit the building. She told me everything I had to do, so I was off to do it. So obviously, for efficiency's sake, I just walked out of the building and I went and got my my free bucket of wax because beekeeper here guy is weird and doesn't care about what his bees actually make, just likes the bees. And then I got that turned into a black candle. Then it was off to Taverley to talk to the Lady of the Lake, and then Port Sarim to actually get the Excalibur from her through this little trickery that she does with pretending to be a homeless man. Don't steal my culture, Lady of the Lake. Lastly, Varrock to learn the words that never change, even though you have to do it every time. And back to Seer's Village to actually summon the ghost. So drop the bat bones. As long as you have the candle lit in your inventory, the ghost will appear, and you gotta give him the Snarthon, Kandric, Terramanto words so that he doesn't kill you. And then you can go free Merlin. So the next logical step was to actually free Merlin using Excalibur, climb all the way to the top of the tower, smash him out, and he tells you to go talk to King Arthur for your reward because he's a broke bitch. Go talk to King Arthur, and I got my 6 quest points, and I got to keep the Excalibur. So the Excalibur is a new weapon for me. It's better than anything I had, and it's a level 30 weapon, so I just rolled with it. I'm going to use that next. And I decided to use that 1,000 experience lap that I get for this quest from Varrock in smithing. I wanted to use it in defense, but that wasn't an option. So I used it in smithing, got 31 smithing. It'll probably save me some time later. And then I got started on the Holy Grail. So over the next 15-20 minutes of the stream, all I did was basically the quest. I went to Entrana. I went and got a napkin from the dude who gives you free cups of tea if you keep messing up the dialogue. Went to Draenor to get both my whistles. Very important that I got both my whistles. I didn't forget this time. And then I finally found myself in the Fisher Realm. Now, the hardest part of this quest is probably fighting this Black Knight Titan who guards the bridge to the castle in the Fisher Realm. I wasn't worried about it. I had a level 30 weapon now, the Excalibur. I had high enough level in attack and strength that, you know, I kind of just derped around with my settings a little bit because I was trying to figure something out. It was a pretty easy fight, nothing to worry about. But I don't want to lie, I was never really worried about this fight. I had plenty of food. I was going to be fine. Free bones, though. Need that prayer exp. Next, it was off to the Goblin Village to prod a boy caught in some sacks, who just happens to be the heir to the Fisher Realm. Very convenient that that's exactly what you needed. And then it was back to Karamja to go to the Fisher Realm. This time I actually remembered to get my lodestone. I'll save you the pain of me running there. But I finally picked up the Brimhaven lodestone so that I could get there whenever I needed without having to pay that 30 coins. Once I made my way back into the realm itself, I made my way up the stairs, grabbed myself a Holy Grail, realized I didn't have inventory space, ate a food, grabbed myself a Holy Grail for real this time, and then it was back to the Seer's Village to actually complete the quest. So when I turned in the quest, very exciting. I wound up with 30 attack, 30 strength, 31 defense, 29 prayer, 14 mining, 31 smithing, 6 fishing, 11 cooking, and 3 construction. Just in this episode, I got all those gains. This is why I love doing quests my way. Quest guides, they're so efficient and the best way to play the game. If you guys want more, be sure to leave a comment and a like down below. Check out my Twitch channel, please. It would be greatly appreciated because I'm going to be streaming there in the future. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.